Attention passionate Buffalo, BILLSFANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Buffalo Bills' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Buffalo Bills fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Buffalo, BILLSFANS. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if you've been paying close attention to the NFL news cycle over the past few days, you've probably heard some whispers, some serious whispers, about what might be coming next in the AFC East, and let me tell you, it's not just rumors. It's a seismic shift. According to sources close to the league, including the well-known insider Adam Schefter, the Bills are deep into discussions that could reshape their roster and their playoff ambitions. And the centerpiece of this potential move? Quinnen Williams. That's right, the Jets' defensive tackle, who's been one of the most dominant forces on the interior line in recent years, could soon be donning a Bills jersey. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, the Jets? Why would they trade him? But in the NFL, especially in this era of high-powered rebuilds, everything's on the table. The Jets, sitting at a 1-4 start, are clearly in a rebuild mode. They're trying to get younger, more flexible with their cap, and focus on building a team that can compete in the future, not just in the present. They're willing to part ways with Williams, who's been a force since he was drafted 3rd overall back in 2019, and the Bills see a huge opportunity in this. So, what's the deal? Well, the reports indicate that Buffalo is offering a first-round pick in 2026 along with Austin Johnson, the veteran defensive tackle, to help the Jets accelerate their rebuild. Johnson, who's been solid when healthy, adds some depth and veteran leadership to New York's front, which is desperately needed given their struggles. The Jets, meanwhile, are looking to bolster their offensive line and add youth, aiming for a longer-term rebuild. They're also trying to keep their cap situation manageable, especially with a $13 million cap crunch this year, which makes trading Williams, who commands around $20 million in cap space, a strategic move. It's a chess game, and both sides are trying to come out ahead. Now, let's zoom in on Quinnen Williams, because this guy isn't just any player. He's been an absolute game wrecker. Think about his impact over the last couple of seasons. He was an All-Pro in 2022 and 2023, and he's been a top-tier DT since entering the league. In 2025, he's been putting up some eye-popping numbers: 4 sacks, 48 tackles, 28 pressures in just 5 games. His PFF grade this year is an incredible 91.6, which puts him among the best defensive tackles in the league. What really stands out is his run-stopping ability. He's got a 22% run-stop win rate, meaning he's consistently disrupting running plays. His EPA per rush is negative, which means he's forcing offenses into negative plays more often than not. And when you look at his career stats, Williams has accumulated 38 sacks, over 400 tackles, and has been a menace with 12 forced fumbles. His bull rush, a move that he's mastered, especially highlights his power, with a win rate of around 25%. Despite some injuries in 2024, he's healthy now and producing at an elite level, and his advanced stats suggest he could add around 20% efficiency to the Bills' run defense if he joins. Now, why would the Bills want him? Well, for starters, Williams would be a game-changer in the middle of their defensive line. Think about the impact of having a true run wall in the interior. His presence would elevate the Bills' run defense from allowing around 4-6 yards per carry to significantly less. That's a huge difference, especially when facing powerful rushing attacks. And remember, Buffalo's interior defensive line has been somewhat inconsistent, with Ed Oliver sometimes in question due to injuries or performance issues. Williams would give them that reliable, dominant force, and that's critical because Buffalo's defense has been excellent overall, but the interior needs that extra punch. With Williams, the Bills' stop rate on rushing plays could jump from 82% to an impressive 95%. That's practically shutting down the run game of most opponents, forcing teams to rely more on their passing attack, which plays right into Buffalo's hands. And let's not forget the effect on the pass rush. Williams is not just a run stopper, he's also a relentless interior rusher. His stats this year already include 2 sacks, and he's been generating consistent pressure, 28 pressures in just 5 games. His win rate on pass rushes is around 20%, which is exceptional for a defensive tackle. Imagine him collapsing the pocket from the inside, freeing up the edge rushers, and creating more sacks and pressures. The Bills' sack rate, which was around 2.8 per game, could easily climb to around 4.0 with Williams in the lineup. That's a game changer for their pass rush, and it's exactly what they need to pressure quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow in the playoffs. Now, what about the Jets? They're in a different spot right now, with a defense allowing 30 points per game, which is clearly not up to par. They're also $13 million over the cap, which makes holding onto a player like Williams difficult. The trade for Austin Johnson and a pick makes sense for them. It's about acquiring youth and draft capital to build for the future, especially with Jermaine Johnson, a promising young pass rusher, in their sights for extensions. They're betting on Johnson and other young players to develop and turn things around. But in the meantime, trading Williams is a strategic move to get some immediate cap relief and draft assets. For the Bills, this trade could be a turning point. Adding Williams would not only solidify their defensive line, but also send a message that they're all in on a Super Bowl run. It's reminiscent of some of the great defensive teams of the past, like the Steel Curtain of the 1970s, where a dominant interior line was the backbone of a championship-caliber defense. With Williams anchoring that front, Buffalo's defense could become even more formidable, especially in high-pressure playoff scenarios. His ability to disrupt both the run and the pass makes him a perfect fit for the Bills' scheme. And with the offense led by Josh Allen, who's been performing at an MVP level, the addition of a player like Williams could turn the Bills into a nearly unstoppable force. Now, looking at the bigger picture, the odds for the Bills to win the Super Bowl have already been climbing. According to BetMGM, they moved from plus 1,000 to plus 500. That's a huge jump. And it reflects the confidence that a team with Williams could have in their postseason potential. When you add a player of his caliber to a defense that already ranks among the best in the league, you're talking about a real contender. The Bills' chances of making a deep playoff run, potentially even reaching the Super Bowl, would be significantly increased. The projections show a team that could finish around 13-4, with a 60% chance of winning the AFC title, which is incredible when you think about how much impact one player can have. And let's not forget the ripple effect. The Bills' internal pass rush would become more lethal, their run defense more impenetrable, and their overall team identity more aligned with a championship-winning mentality. It's like building a fortress around Josh Allen, who's already one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Now, with Williams anchoring the defensive line, the Bills could become an even more balanced, dominant team that can beat opponents in multiple ways. It's a bold move, no doubt, but one that could define their season and possibly their dynasty. Of course, there are risks. The cap space is tight, and integrating a new player mid-season always comes with challenges. But if they pull it off, the benefits far outweigh the risks. The AFC East, which has been a competitive division with the Dolphins, Jets, and Patriots all trying to find their footing, could see Buffalo take a commanding lead with this move. The Jets, on the other hand, might be left scrambling, trying to piece together their defense without Williams, but still with their draft capital and young players to develop. It's a fascinating chess match, and we're all watching it unfold. So, as the deadline approaches, set for November 4th, all eyes are on Buffalo and New York. Will the Bills make this bold move and grab Quinnen Williams? If they do, it could be the move that propels them straight to the Super Bowl, a move that echoes the legendary Steel Curtain defenses of old, but with a modern twist. This is the kind of decision that shapes NFL history, and as fans, we have front-row seats to witness it. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the potential rewards are enormous. So stay tuned, because this story is far from over, and the next chapter might just be written in Buffalo. And now, Buffalo Bills fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and TO, the Buffalo Bills. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Buffalo Bills news.